Coronavirus pandemic continues to expose some of the ills and corrupt activities in this country. 13 KZN government officials have been suspended for alleged links to the irregular procurement of COVID-19 blankets and PPE to the value of some 22 million rand. All this was uncovered by the Social Development Department. Now we speak to the HOD, the head of department, Nelly Vilakazi, who joins us now from Durban. Ma'am, thank you for joining us. So this being uncovered as part of the efforts that came through from that investigation and the forensic report some 3 weeks ago, what action has happened since then?
Thank you very much, Tudasizo. Thank you for having us in your show. Upon receipt of the report by the department, there are actions that we've taken. First of all, the department assembled a team that include the HOD, legal and labor relations officers, and then we went through the reports. The reports are quite thick. It's about 7 ARC files. We went through the reports and then we engaged the Office of the Premier because we wanted them to support us in terms of the capacity. And thereafter, we also engaged the Department of Public Service and Administration that also supported the department. As of now, we do have a team that is going to look into this matter in terms of consequences management that are in line with the Labour Relations Act.
So how many officials in total have been suspended at this point? And I understand that you've proffered some charges. You've laid some charges against some officials. How many people are being charged in regard to this matter?
There are 13 officials that are affected who are at different levels, those that are at senior management and those that are at an operational level. There are 11 in all, but the charges are different based on the outcome of the report. So the charges are not necessarily the same because some are at a senior management level and others at an operational level.
Give me a sense of how the scheme worked, HOD, and as far as the procurement of blankets is concerned, for example, because, you know, your department, given the work that you do, you don't only, require blankets during this time of COVID-19, but I imagine it's part of the work that you do on an ongoing basis. And so I would want to know, how exactly was the scheme playing out in as far as the corruption is concerned? What did the forensic report reveal in as far as the blankets procurement is concerned?
Okay. In terms of our work, we do procure blankets to support those that are vulnerable and poor. But in this instance, because of COVID-19, we did procure blankets to assist those that are homeless, because remember the directive was that there should be no one who is loitering around in the street as a way of curbing the spread of COVID-19, as well as ensuring that we support our non-profit organizations that need that support in terms of blankets and PPEs. So how it happened is that we had an acting HOD at that point, acting accounting officer. So what happened is that when the procurement happened, a submission that was supposed to be signed off as like authorizing the procurement to take place was signed after the actual orders were issued to the service providers. So which is not okay in terms of governance, because the acting HOD or the accounting officer must first approve a submission to procure blankets or any thing that had to be procured before the actual procurement.
So in a way, basically, the department was committed to procuring these blankets even before authorization, the official authorization was made. What's the nexus between the officials in the department and the, I believe it's 4 service providers that were part of this procurement processes? What have you established by way of relationships and networks and that nexus? Because I would say to you, this would have been been impossible. In fact, it's hard to believe that this would be done without motive on the part of the officials in your department, because the investigation suggests that there should be action against people such as the then acting HOD, the acting Deputy Director General, Chief Financial Officer and Supply Chain Management. All of these people can't have been involved in these processes without motive, without a nexus between either themselves or other officials in the department and the service providers.
What happened is that, like as you've just said, that the accounting officer was not aware of the process being finalized, having not authorized it to take place. But even if that is the case, the service providers that are implicated, they are named in the report, and I must indicate that the report recommended that we open criminal cases against the service providers, because some of them delivered goods that were not the required stock. Some of them, you find that they even provided the department with an invoice as if all the goods that were ordered have been delivered, which was not the case. So I must indicate that there are 2 criminal cases that were opened by the department with the SAPS to manage this matter, which will then include some of the officials as well as the service providers.
All right, ma'am, thank you for your time this morning. We will touch base with you as and when the case does unfold, because the time to turn a blind eye and look away is really over. So we would want to follow through and ensure that when action does unfold by way of consequence management, we are there to bring it to you. So that is Nelly Vilakazi, who is the Head of Department of Social Development in KwaZulu-Natal.